Hey there, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm excited to walk you through the prototype of a brand new wallet app designed entirely in Figma. So this isn't just about screens, it's about creating smoother transaction, clearer navigations and experience users can trust. So whether you are a designer, developer or just curious, let's explore how the wallet app comes to life, one screen at a time. So I'm going to show you how you're going to create this in Figma. Now, this is the original file that I created. It's just 3 screens that was playing that prototype. So to recreate these things, I'm just going to recreate the screens, then show you guys how I prototype the flow. So to get started, I'm going to be needing some stuff from here, and yeah. So if you're new in Figma, just pay attention. Don't skip the video yet. So I'm going to click on the frame and I'm going to select iPhone 16 Pro Max. I would strongly advise to use the phone size you're using, so you can actually mirror this on your mobile phone and play it. So here I'm going to give a corner radius of 30. Then we're going to collect this status bar. I'm just going to copy it, then come here and paste it. So once I've pasted that, the next thing I'm going to do is just to write all of these things and add the icons there. So here I'm going to open my iconifier first, then I'm going to search for plus icon. So once I have the plus icon, I would use this one. Then the next is I'm going to get the more icon. So more is just the 3 dots. So I'm going to pick it out. Then the next is going to be bank. So once I have bank, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to also get cards, then use this. The reason why I'm using this field state is because that is the home page. So the next one I'm going to get is gift. So pick this one. Then I'm going to get what else account, just type for profile, bring this out. Then the next is going to be, we have card, we have more, we have this. So which one are we missing? We are missing offers. So I'm going to search for tags. I'm going to use this, or just search for tag. Yeah, let's use the same icon that we're using. So we're going to get rid of this one. So to factor all these things out, I'm just going to move it out from here. Then I'm going to just select this one and get this one into, so the size is 16 by 16 and this one the size is 24 by 24. So we're just going to increase this one to 24. So yeah, is now of the same size. So what we're going to do now is to add auto layout on this one. Just press Shift A to add auto layout. Make sure that this is centered, and I'm going to just increase this to increase both the width and the height. You just click on this. Then the next thing I'm going to do is just to push it to 36. I've already created some color variables. Then we're just going to select this gray 50, and I'm going to tie this to black. And the next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate it, get the more inside here, then get rid of this. Now select the 2 of them and give it a full corner radius. So once that is done, I'm going to add auto layout to group 2 of them together. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to type the wallet. So wallet. So once I have that, I'm just going to increase it to all the way to 32. So I'm going to select everything and add auto layout. Now make sure that the distance between here and here is auto, so that when we give a pattern of 20, it pushes the elements in. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to bring this down, stretch this to the end, and also stretch this to the end. I'm going to give it a feel of white. I think we're done, and just reduce this to 24. So the next thing I'm going to do is to arrange the footer icon. So going to arrange this according to how it would appear in the footer icon. So I'm going to set this, and I'm going to call this cards. Set this to 12, then get this to medium, push this here, duplicate, set it here, duplicate, and duplicate again. So ideally, if you're going to create this in a bigger project, this is not how you're going to create it. You're going to make this a full component, but just because I'm teaching, the essence of this video is to teach you guys how to actually prototype some certain flows, I'm just going to skip that part. So here we're going to call this offers, then call this gift card. Then here I'm going to call this account. So if I'm building a bigger project, what I will do is to select all of this icon, and I'm going to set it here, then come to this place and just say create component sets. So now we're going to label these icons, and I'm going to select this and call this icon. So here is going to be card. So basically you're going to have the field states and the idle states. So but let's not just go into that yet. So I'm just going to call this tag, then call this gifts. So the reason why you're doing this is because if you make mistakes, it will be easier for you to actually change it. Assuming you come in, you already have this footer icon used in almost 200 screens, and during iteration phase you realize that, oh, you've used the wrong icon, which is probably this is not the right icon you should use. All you need to do is just to come here and change this, and it will reflect on all the footer icons that you've used where you've used it. But if you go the traditional method, which is just the longer method and easier when you're designing, during an iteration period, and you want to change this, it's going to take you a lot of time to change, because imagine going over all the whole screens to change just one icon. That could be frustrating. So I'm just going to call this account, and once you're done, all I need to do is just to bring out one and place it here. So duplicate it, duplicate. Now we're going to change this to account, change this to gifts, then change this to tags. So once we're done, add the layout, add the layout, add the layout, then add the layout. Now I'm going to select everything now and just position it right. Then this I'm going to set 10 as the space between them. Now I'm going to add auto layout in all of them. Select everything again and change this to few. Now we have a gap here, so I'm just going to set this to 10. Then make sure that the height also is on few, not whole. So I'm going to set it to few. Now if we stretch this, this is what we're going to have, and I'm going to give this to be let's say 20, or better still, just leave it at 10. Then I'm going to fill, and when you're done, just bring it right here, give a corner radius of 20. I'm just going to use 16 because the outer radius is okay. We're going to use 24. The outer radius is what, 30? Yeah, let's use 24. So we're going to stretch this all the way to the end here, then bring this to this point. Next thing I'm going to do is to add gray, then add an effect. So for this to be easier for us, what we're going to do is just to come to the style and create effects. Just call this shadow one. oh sorry, I'm just going to edit it. So before you call this shadow 1, I'm just going to set this to 20 and leave this at 5. Then we're done for this. Then to create another shadow, call this shadow 2. We're going to use this shadow 2 in the card. I don't know why I'm just pressing this enter, I'm just so fast. So I'm going to tag this at 30, then we use this as, let's just call 8 and hit enter. So once you're done, just close it, close. So we have these two shadows. Select this, come to this place and set it to shadow 1. So you see the way it's looking now. So that's how we define shadow 1 to look. So the next thing I'm going to do is to create the wallet. So we're going to set this to this point, and also make sure that this is also here, and this is here. Make sure that it is also centered. And also could have used auto layouts this in the whole of the page. So here I'm just going to pull. So we're going to reduce this. So I have to double click on it to get this bend tool. So I'm just going to bend this inside. So once you're done, just double click outside and push this thing down. Then I'm going to add corner radius of 20. And the next thing we're going to do is just go and copy a ladder-like image. So here you would see some of the leaders. You just go to Pinterest and search for it. So I'm just going to copy this one, or better still, look for something else. I'm just going to check out this one. So here, so this looks better. So just go copy this and paste it here. So once you're done pasting it, the next thing you're going to do is to give that little hole behind it, just here at the footer area. So once I'm done, I'm going to select this tool and come here and hit subtract. It will just give us this. So once I'm done, the next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate this. I'm going to zoom close, then get this. Let's just give it a stitch-like effect. And I'm going to bring this to this point. Then here you have to double click on this and push it up. Okay, sorry, I think we made a mistake. We didn't select the right one. So this is the right one. So we're going to open it, select the circle here and increase it a bit. So make sure that it matches very well. So yeah, we're done. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to add a stroke to it. So yeah, the stroke is we're going to blend the color. So we're going to select something that looks like this to blend the color very well, so it won't be too shouty. So once you're done, you just press 2. Then the next thing you're going to do is to make sure that this is in the center. Press this and get the dotted line. I'm going to set this to 6, then curve the edges. So yep. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add an effect to it. Set this to inner shadow, and this I'm going to increase to 50, and here set this to 10. So we have something that looks like this, right? So it's kind of taking shape. So what I'm going to do now is to write this wallet. So once I've done that, I'm just going to set this to bold. We're going to increase this to 24. I think 24 works. Now the same thing we're going to do, we're going to also find a blend. Let's try this color. Oh, it's too shouty. So I'm just going to find another color here, and once that is there, I'm going to just find a way to tweak it. Yeah, leave it like this. Then the next thing I want to do is to add we could just try something else. Then the same color that we added here, use this. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to change this fill, or just rather remove it. Then we have something that looks like this. So go to your stroke, come here and change this to dotted. I think this will not work. Nah, it's not what I'm trying to achieve. So I'm just going to remove this, open this up, then add an effect, set this to inner shadow. Then this inner shadow, I'm just going to set it to 2, so it's just going to increase to 1. So here set to 2, then this I'm going to change to 30, so it looks like it's perforated, but it's not. So we're going to still change the color. Yeah, much better. So this is what we have. And the next thing I'm going to do now is to have a rectangle sitting right behind this place. So the same 20, and we'll take it to the back. Then we're going to find a matching color. Much better. So once you have this, what you will do is, for this one, you add a drop shadow effect. Increase this to just, let's use shadow 1 and fit it in. You're only going to see it reflect. That's why most designs come out cleaner than others, because of the way they use shadows on stroke strength. So I'm going to bring this here, and now I think the interesting part is for us to create a card. So here I'm just going to recreate this card that I created here. I'm going to duplicate this and bring this card side by side. So I'm going to quickly show you guys how I created this card. So here I'm going to type Scotiabank, and duplicate this. To duplicate, you just press Ctrl D, then dollar sign, we're using 5,000.89. So this figure, I'm going to reduce the height. So we have this number 1. So duplicate this, select anchor balance, set this to 12 or 14 rather. So I'm going to set this to medium, or you can use semi bold. So these two, I'm going to add auto layout. So we're going to set all of these to white. Sorry guys. Set this to white, and also these to white. So once I'm done, the next thing I'm going to do is to just bring this out. So just type the 04 stuff, 048907, and keep that aside. We're going to reduce it to 14. Not bold, we're going to use semi bold. Duplicate this, and we'll just give it any digit. So here for this one, I'm going to stretch this to reduce this to 18, then select everything and add auto layout. Now come here and change everything here to white. Make sure that the distance between them is not too much. We're going to use 16, and let's check the distance here is, we'll just use 4. Yeah. So for this one, I'm going to just, I've shown you guys how I actually created this, so it's relatively the same thing, the same way here. So I'm just going to duplicate this one and bring it here. No point to creating it again. So select everything now, and oh sorry, before you do that, what I'm going to do is to select here and add auto layout, then select everything and add auto layout. So here everything is now set. So what I'm going to do now is to make sure that this, I'm going to still go further to reduce it. The height of this is 48, so here I'm also going to use 48, so we have this balanced. The next thing I'm going to do now is to fill this. I'm just going to set fill, then add a gradient, twist this. I'm going to choose this color one, then the second color will be yellow. So for this, I'm going to also twist down. So once you're done, I'm going to push this all the way out. So once you're done, you're just going to set this to 20. Select this, give 20 as padding, then give 20 here too. So this, make sure that it's on fill, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is to make sure that this is 20, the corner radius. So that's how I came about this card. So I've just created that. So I'm going to just delete it, then come here and reuse this one. Remember, this is also tied to something, so I'm just going to remove it first. If we are reusing it, once you're done, you just add drop shadow to it. So I'm just going to call this card 1. So we're going to break this in and set it here. Push it to the back. Push it to the back. Then we're going to bring this one, copy it. I've already shown you guys how I created a card, so I'm just going to paste it here. So send to the back. Also select this and send to the back. So for this, make sure that it's not tied to anything. Yeah, it's not tied to anything. So just because I want it to the balance to always be showing, I'm also going to raise this to this very point. Now the next thing we are going to do is to make sure that this also have thread in them. Duplicate this, bring it down a bit, then bring this one here. So because the outer one is 20, we're going to make this one probably 16. Yeah, so come here and do the same thing and add a stroke, and the stroke we're using is this, right? So I'm just going to use the color picker and pick the color, then set this to 2 and come here, select, and I'm going to use 6, and at the end we have something that looks like this. Now you see that it has sharp edge, so I'm going to come here and click on this, make sure that this is now centered so it looks like a stitch. This should be in the center, and this also should be in the center. This should also be centered, and this should be centered. Now we'll do the same thing for this and do the same thing for this. So yeah, everything is now properly aligned, and I'm going to quietly raise this two. Look at these two. I'm going to select it. Please don't hold your Control and Shift key and select when something is subtracted. So when this rectangle is in a subtraction rate state, don't hold down your Shift and the command button to select it. Although what you're going to select is what is inside that subtraction, not the entire subtraction. So I'm just going to raise this up and cover it. So now we have something that looks like wallet. The next thing I'm going to do is to select this, select the second one and look for the wallet, and I'm going to just frame it. If you like, you can flatten it or you just frame it. So in this case, I'm just going to frame selection. So for these two and this one, select the two of them and frame selection. Now that you frame the selection, please just be mindful of how you move things around, because it's just going to force, it can frustrate your prototype. The next thing I'm going to do now is to add this recent activities. So once we have this here, I'm going to set this to 16, reduce this to semi-bold, duplicate this, and we have 8 recent activity that has been done. Add auto layout, set the fill state to gray, then we have 39, so we also add 39 here to balance things up. So I'm just going to give it a full corner radius of 40, and once you're done, just select the tool and add auto layout. Automatically Figma has made it auto. I set it to auto. So I'm going to select this and add white, give it a corner radius of 16, and the next thing I'm going to do is just to give a padding of 20 to push it inside. Now we're going to use effect of shadow 1. So once you're done, the next thing I'm going to add is a stroke of this gray, so we'll have something that looks like this at the end of the day. The corner radius is too much. I'm going to reduce it to 10. Yeah, so this is I'm going to reduce this to 14 is fine, just to add that balance between here and here. So I'm also going to go further and reduce to 10. Just set this to 10. To have the uniform thing, make sure that this is also set to 10. Now I'm going to set this to hog content, so everything between this place and this place is properly fixed. For here, we are not really bothered, to be honest. So the next thing I'm going to do is to leave everything to be centered. Now here is the interesting part. We are going to duplicate this. I'm going to move this to a bit up, so we won't be seeing the design down. Now once you've moved this is the first one. What we want to do now is to say, when we click the Scotiabank, we want to see all the transaction in it. So when we click the Scotiabank, it goes up and displays the history, the transaction history behind it. So instead of just coming down, you just swipe right and swipe left to see other cards. So assuming this, you have almost, let's say, 10 cards in it, there's a way we could just design this to fit into a wallet. Probably also from your recent used cards, we display the most recent used card. So if tomorrow you use Wise will come in front and Scotiabank will go at the back, so the most recent used cards come in front, then every other card is just hidden. So we can just probably show something like this. I'm going to show you guys, and we take this to the back. Oh sorry, and then duplicate it. So we duplicate this, then hey there, can I tell you something real quick? When I started this channel, I honestly wasn't sure anyone would care. I just kept sharing, hoping someone out there might find value in what I was saying, and slowly you showed up. You started watching, you started commenting, supporting, and that meant everything to me. But here's the honest truth. I checked recently, and over half of the people that actually watch my videos haven't subscribed yet. Maybe that's you, and I get it. We watch so much online, it's easy to forget to hit that button. But subscribing is not just a number to me, it's a little sign to say, I'm here, keep going. So if my video have ever helped you, inspired you, or just made your day a bit better, could you subscribe? And that would mean more than you know to me. We have something that looks like this. So we can actually fade this one a bit. We could just say 40, so you can see see it like this. So every other card comes somehow like this, or you could just use 3 or 4 depending on how. So if you're going to use this for a real product, you can actually do this. So what the place that I'm actually taking inspiration from is Apple Wallet. That's where I took inspiration to actually create this. So instead of having that boring design, kind of made it look much more modern. I'm not saying that what they have is not good, but it could be better. So I'm going to just go ahead and remove this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to bring this out. So what we actually duplicated is this one, so I'm going to delete it. So now bring this also out. So for the wallet and this, we're going to move it down. Then for this, I'm going to let it go inside, don't delete it. So just once it's halfway in, you just drag it out. So for this, I'm going to just reduce it a bit. So to lighten things up, one thing I'm going to do is to select the back one and make sure that I add this shadow to it. Then the same thing here. Remember, it's 2. This is the first and this is the second. So for this second one, we're going to add this. So we kind of, it's not so visible, but it kind of gives our design some kind of facelift. So once we're done, we push this. Be careful how you drag it, so you can just drag like this. I could have used auto layout, but I don't want to mess my design up. So now I'm going to select this and bring it to this place. So once that is set, remember that this one needs to have a drop shadow. So the drop shadow on this is 2025, so which means this also needs to have a drop shadow. So we're going to add a drop shadow here, and we're also going to have a drop shadow here. Sorry guys. So because this is not visible enough, what I'm going to do is to go and work on this. So we're going to increase this to 25, and yeah, 30 is fine. So you see that everywhere we've used that drop shadow has increased. So now we're going to move this out a bit. So once we have this, what's the width on this one? The width is 385. So we're going to also set this to 385, not 385. Yeah. Oh, 385. Yeah, much better. So how I actually created this, I'm going to duplicate this and bring it here. It's pretty much very easy. So what you're going to do is to get an eclipse. Just drop this eclipse. Then for the name, I'm going to say here name, and once we have the name, I'm going to set this to 14. Then here should be semi-bold. So the next thing I'm going to have here is date. So we're going to use date here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate this one and make it bigger to be 16. Then we'll have amount. So once you're done, you're going to do this auto layout, then auto layout. So you see what I did there? The elements that I want to stay together, I will just make it auto layout. Then the other one that I want to stay far apart, before I'll just group all of them. So I want these to stay together first, then followed by this and the whole of it. So once you're done, we're going to set this to, we're going to reduce this to this and reduce the weight, change this from 14 to 12. So once that is done, I'm going to set this to white. So for this, I'm going to use 50 instead of 58. So I'm going to use 50. So we could say 16. No, 16 is too much. I'm going to use 10. Then I'm going to use 20. So now I'm going to duplicate this, bring them together and out of the layout. Now close every gap here, duplicate, 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 duplicate as much as you want. So once we are done, ideally the right thing to do is this. So I'm going to teach you how to create some of these things gradually. Universal role. So I'll call this universal role, and I'm going to make this a component, then create another variant. So we're going to select this. So assuming we want another form of design, so maybe amount, field, and all those kind of stuff, so we can actually use it. So here I'm going to duplicate this and bring it here. So this is going to go, and I'm going to duplicate, bring it here. Sorry guys, group editor layout, then duplicate. What's the width of this? The width of this is 418, so we're going to change this to 418. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to add this recent activity. So I'm not just going to create it because it's quite simple to do. So recent activity, and we're going to select everything here and add white. Make sure that this is also 20. I'm going to use 22. Then open it up a bit. So once we have this like this, I'm going to give corner radius of 20. So we're going to do something here, clip the content. Now for the last part, we could just come here and give 20 for the last part. So to actually work on this, now let's fix this because I want this to be on top. So if you want it to be on top, you see what happens, it goes on top. If you want it to be center, that's why we use components. So recent activities, and once we have this, you can also add one more. So we can just delete this. So let me show you much cases that we can use something like this. So for the ones that actually came in, we could use plus amount. Yeah, we could have used this here. I'm just trying to create a scenario where you would need the two of them to interchange. So here I'm going to just change this to green. Then if you come here and this place to say okay, you're going to select this and change it to variant 2, you see what happens. But that is not the use case, because we can also change this to we can also ask this to do the same thing, literally. So what I'm going to do now is to open my plugin and get content rail. So once I have content rail, I'm going to select this, select. Now let's change this to go to text, and we're going to change this to company name. So we just change this to company name. Now you see what is happening. We are going to come here. First of all, set this to fill. Then for this, set it to fill. Just set it to hold. That is what is causing that issue. Then for these two, set it to hog, set this to also hog. So you see everything has fixed itself. So the next thing we're going to do is to select this once, and I'm going to change it to currency. So let's find currency, or just search for it. US currency, we just change everything, so it will change all the currencies for us. So here we're going to change the date. So look for dates, Monday, the dates, and time morning. So we'll change this. So here we are going to also do the same thing on the dates. So the date is on fill, we're going to set it to hog, it's correct start. So here the date is on fill, we are going to set this to hog, and it fixes that for us. 15th May 2020 by 8 a.m. So we didn't do this, so dates, time, so we'll fix this. Oh, sorry, we're not done yet. So I'm going to come here, content reel, select this, and we are going to look for logo. So go to image and look for logo here and fill everything in. So why did it fill this once? Okay, much better. So now you can see that this is too big. Forgetting that the logo doesn't match what we have on the text, so this is just for educational purpose. So I'm going to set this to 40. Now that we're done, we're going to select everything here and increase the size. So you can see that the height is different. So I'm going to set the height to 100. So 100 seems to be too much. I'm going to set it to 70. Much better. So once we have this, the next thing we're going to do is to bring it inside here. Now once we have this inside here, make sure that this have a shadow. So we're going to give it a stroke also. So I'm going to remove this last one. We can now set this to fill. So once we have this at fill, the next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate, because we're done with this one. So we're going to just move this out. I'm going to duplicate this. Also push this one out, then select these two and move them. So go ahead and change these same numbers. Go and get content reel, and we're going to find amount, a currency, apply. So for this, go back, text. So we'll look for company and change. And now let's change all the logo. Go to image. Yep. So we have all of them now created. Now is the time to do the deal. So I'm going to go back to prototype, then come here and link it to this one. So when I tap this, I want it to smart animate and gentle, leave it at 800. Then when I tap it again, I want it to come back to this one, and not instant, I want it to smart animate, and I'm going to change it to gentle. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to say this. So let's just see what happens. Make sure that this, you copy it, come here and paste it. Then we're going to gradually move it out. Make sure that this is moved out completely. So remember what I said, I'm going to just pick this and bring it to this place, so we just have enough focus. Make sure that there is nothing that is linking to all the other screens. Yeah, so now let's preview this and see what happens. So I'm just going to preview this. Okay, so when you click this, you see there is an issue here. I'm clicking this again, it goes back. Okay, let's fix that. So when you go back, look at this, then I think this actually entered into. So now let's check, let's see the effect of what we just created. So when I click this and this comes out, so I'm just going to push this to be here. Make sure this is in the center. Then when I click this, you see it comes out, but this is not the actual effect. See what is happening. The only thing that is moving is the wallet. I want the cards to move. The card is kind of coming out as sticky. So let's find out what the problem is. So the problem is probably from the card naming, and I've seen a lot of designers have this issue. So here you see that this is card 1, and if I click on this, you can see that it's card 2, so it's not going to trigger the same behavior. So we're going to change this to card 1, right? So look at this one also, you will see that is frame. So we just call this card 3 or card 2, then copy it, then call this also card 2. The same thing with this one, call it card 2. Then this one would be card 1. Problem solved. So now if we go back and do this, you see it's now working perfectly fine. So when I click on this, it comes out, and when I click on it, it goes back in. When I click on this, it goes out. When I click on it, it goes out, it comes in. Now let's go and do something here. Link this one, this particular one, link this to this. So I'm just going to say on drag gentle, then this one also, I'm also going to say on drag gentle. Then if I also click on this, it should also give me this on top. So here I'm going to go back and do this. Then when we drag this, you see it's giving us this one. So when you drag this, it gives you this one. When you drag this, and when you click this, it also brings everything inside the card. And when you click this, it comes out. When you click this, drag this, it goes. And as it's dragging, the transaction history is also changing. Look at it. So when I click here, the card comes inside the wallet. Now this is how you can actually create this animation in Figma. So you can actually use this, go ahead and animate this and add, kind of improve this. And if you want to share it on LinkedIn to generate leads, to attract leads, you can just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to also go ahead and play this again, drop this and this. And that's a quick look at this wallet app prototype. From payment to transaction history, every details was crafted having users in mind. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more UX breakdown, case studies, and prototype deep dive like this. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next one.